Hi guys, hi girls, people of all genders, hi to you. If you've got non-human species with you, hi to you as well. Dogs, cats, whatever you got, hi. Today I'm going to do a mélange book haul, unboxing, all sorts of sources and all sorts of things. Mélange is a word that I had to look up, honestly. But I picked up some books along the way over the last week or two. I have a place called the Book Corner in Brandon, Florida. It was a bookstore that the last time I went there, I ended up getting a big piece of my I Want list. It was Robert McCammon's The Wolf's Hour UK first edition, first print, signed by the author. And I brought that one home along with some other stuff that time, and I was excited. So this time I went back excited, hoping for something special. What did I get? Let's find out. But before we do that, I also stopped in at a Goodwill in Fort Myers, Florida. Down there for work, near the hotel I was staying, there was a Goodwill, and I went in. Did I find anything worth buying? Let's find out. After that, me and the boys and I, all of us, we went to a Salvation Army. This is a Salvation Army that I hadn't been to in probably 10 years. What did we find there? Stay tuned. We'll find out. And then finally, I got a book on Amazon. I bought it on Amazon. It turns out it came from somebody else who was selling the book on Amazon. One that I've been wanting for a while, and it was at the right price. And let's see what it looks like when I open it up. Is it good enough to put on the shelf for display? Or is it something that I just read and stash or give away or move on down the road one way or the other? And then finally, an eBay book unboxing. And I'm going to give you a spoiler. It's not in a box. And that ain't my favorite way to get books from eBay. This is one for a collection that I have and a book that's been missing in that collection for a while. So without any further ado, mélange and adieu, let's get started. So the first one is the Book Corner. We're going to the corner bookstore here in Brandon. See what we got. The last time I was here, I got a signed Robert McCammon Wolf's Hour copy and something else. Don't remember what it was. Got some other good stuff. We'll see what we get this time. And the very first thing in my package that I opened up from the Book Corner was soft cover, first edition, first print, soft cover of F. Paul Wilson's Reprisal. Reprisal is the 5th book in the Adversary cycle. If you're not familiar with F. Paul Wilson, get familiar with F. Paul Wilson. That fella is, I always want to say, my favorite author. And in terms of numbers of books that I've read and loved from an author, he's my favorite author. In terms of writing my second favorite book ever written, he's my favorite author. And in terms of my collection, I've got F. Paul Wilson all to the roof, man. He's my favorite author. But he's well known for writing Repairman Jack series. The Repairman Jack series wasn't always intended to be a series. It was started with a book called The Tomb, and the Repairman Jack was the main character in that book. Well, over time, F. Paul Wilson decided to write a book that would encompass 3 of his most famous books, The Keep, The Tomb, and The Touch. And he wrote that book and tied them all together and basically decided to end it all in this book. And the book was huge, huge. And the way I understand it was that book then was broken up into 3 parts because selling a 1,000, 1,200 page book, whatever it would have been, I don't know, wasn't wasn't on the publisher's want list. So they broke it up into 3 parts: Reborn, Reprisal, and Night World. Each book is kind of its own standalone, but they fulfill a bigger story arc. And the Night World being the last, which tied in the characters from the Keep, the Tomb, and the Touch, as well as other characters that were drawn in. Anyway, Reprisal is the 6th book in that series. It is very good. Anyway, this is the first paperback book, a first print. I talked about first prints before. Essentially, a first print has a number line that goes all the way down to 1. If you want any further explanation, I've done it before, but I got a lot of stuff to cover, and look it up or call me up and we can talk about what first prints are. The next book that I picked up at this place, the book corner, is Robert A. Heinlein's Stranger in a Strange Land. And I've got some very nice editions of this book. Suntup numbered edition, Suntup artist edition, but I've never read the book before. So it only stands to reason that a Joker needs to read a book eventually, and that's what this one's for. The condition is unread, I would say. I don't see a crease in that spine. Unread condition. I paid $3.85 for it or something, $3 and some odd cents for it. I doubt it's really worth much more than that. It's unread condition, and I'm going to put a stop to that. That problem will go away. I bought this book to read. I wanted to get into the Stranger in a Strange Land universe, Robert A. Heinlein, so it's going on the list. The book's what gots to be read list over there that people call a TBR pile. It's going on that stack. It's behind you. Turn around and look. It's right back there. There's way too many books in that stack. My wife complains about how ugly the stack is. The next one, another for the books what gots to be read category. And here we got Clive Barker's The Hellbound Heart. Now take heart. Suntup Editions is one of these days going to produce a copy of The Hellbound Heart. I got my number, and whenever they announce that and all that stuff, I'm going to pre-order it. I'm going to jump on that horse and get one of those coming. So the problem is I've never read it, and it's a small book, not very big, 100 and some odd pages. I'll read that pretty quick, I'll read that as slowly as I can, but very fast. That's what I'm getting, and I've been looking for this. I stopped at Barnes & Noble, and this exact book I think was, what was it? Barnes & Noble, 12 bucks plus tax. And I said, I don't want to pay 12 bucks for a paperback book, even if it is an important one. It's thin and all that stuff. But I ended up getting it a lot cheaper at the book corner, used, good enough shape, definitely good enough for reading, which is what I got it for. Now, on to the next stop. This one was in Fort Myers, Florida. If you're tracing the route, I left my home in Brooksville, driving to Fort Myers. I stopped in Brandon at the book corner, and now I'm in Fort Myers. Not now. Then, at that time, I was at Fort Myers, going to the hotel, went to the Goodwill to see what I can find, and I found some more stuff for me to read. The first one that I found right here, Different Seasons, Stephen King. At the very top, they say Stand By Me. Woo! There's not actually a story in here called Stand By Me. But if you're a movie lover, I am a movie lover. The movie Stand By Me is phenomenal. I love the movie, and I've never read the story that it is based on. Here on the cover, it says Stand By Me, now a smash movie based on The Body, a novella in different seasons by Stephen King, author of The Gunslinger. And that tells me that this book may have been published after the movie Stand By Me came out, but before the movie Shawshank Redemption came out, I don't know. But I would think they would mention Shawshank Redemption on here, because when I open this thing up, Different Seasons, you Stephen King fans, you know all about this stuff already. It's a book that I haven't read. None of these stories in here have I yet to read. But I bought this book to read, so I'm going to read Hope Springs Eternal, Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, Summer of Corruption, Apt Pupil, Fall from Innocence, The Body, and A Winter's Tale, The Breathing Method. I'm going to read all of them, and I'm excited to read it. I'm not pretending to be an expert, but Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, the movie The Shawshank Redemption, is probably the highest rated movie of all time on the Internet Movie Database. One of the most beloved films that's ever been made. Everybody that's ever watched it, with the exception of that one fella back there, that guy, everybody loved it, and that guy didn't, and something's wrong with him. Either that, or everybody's wrong, and he's got it figured out. But I love that movie. I loved Stand By Me, Apt Pupil. I don't even know if I saw that movie. But two of my very favorite movies encompassed here, and I can't wait to read the story. The book looks good. It's not worth any money or moolah. It's like a 38,000th printing. I don't know, 30-something printing. Not worth any money, but it's good enough to read, sure enough. And that's what I intend to do with it. The next book I picked up at the Goodwill, because it's another one of those books I'm ashamed to say I have not read, is Orson Scott Card, Ender's Game. I haven't even seen the movie. That's how bad I am. Haven't read the book, haven't seen the movie, but this is one of the most highly rated, beloved books that are out there. I haven't read it, but I will. I bought this book to read so I can finally be on the list of people that have read the book and get off the bad list. Now, the boys and I on Saturday goof off day, my wife was working. We went to the closest Salvation Army store around here because we happened to be nearby.
Alright, so today we're at Salvation Army, and our dad brought us here because we're going to see if we can find any good books at all. So maybe he can do a good book review, but I don't know. So let's walk inside and find out.
And I'm looking through all the books. Doesn't look promising. We'll see. Looking through all the books, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot to choose from. So I didn't find any books in the book section. Went around to the other side of one of the book aisles, one of the two book aisles, and there was a bunch of DVDs. So all right, I like to watch movies. Let's see what I can find in here really cheap. And what do I see but one of my favorite movies out there? I'm not the only one that loves this movie, by the way. I was a big Jeff Bridges fan growing up. Always have liked Jeff Bridges, and so I wanted to see this. Having John Goodman in it is a major boost for me because I grew up watching Roseanne. I loved the show, and John Goodman was my favorite character from the show. I watched Arachnophobia because of John Goodman, and his character was pretty much the only part of that film that I actually loved. But anyway, The Big Lebowski is one of my very favorite movies. If you like good movies, it's one of your very favorite movies too. If it's not, then you don't like good movies. The thing is, this is not a DVD unboxing. This is not an All Things Media book haul. However, when I open this DVD up, it's a limited edition Blu-ray disc. When I open it up, suddenly there's pages in here, and it turns out I got myself a sort of a book, The Most Worshipped Comedy of Its Generation by Rolling Stone. I got some extra stuff in here, trivia. Be careful, man, there's a beverage here. Some of the famous lines from the book. Some good pictures from, famous lines from the movie. Some good pictures from the movie, as well as quotes and things like that. Reviews, the inspiration for the dude, an exclusive interview. All sorts of extra stuff, which makes this technically a book. And that's why this book is in my book haul from the Salvation Army. Finally, you get through that stuff and you got a Blu-ray DVD right here. Awesome. So that's exciting. Almost there. I bought this book on Amazon. You buy stuff on Amazon, I think about a giant warehouse. They computerized robot eyes, send the things out to you, and you get them in 2 days. Well, this one didn't come that quickly, and as it turns out, it wasn't from Amazon, even though I bought it there. It was from somebody else called discoverbooks.com. This is one that I've been wanting for a while. I have a limited edition hardcover version, a lettered edition in a slipcase from, I think it's from Dark Regions Press, but I didn't have the soft cover, and the soft cover looks really good. The problem is everybody on the secondary market wanted way more money for this little soft cover book than I wanted to pay. And Prisoner 489, and this one is perfect. I see nothing wrong with it. Again, Dark Regions Press, except for this sticker, which I'll get off. I'll figure it out. But this book is perfect. I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say it's unread, but it looks like it's unread. And I love the picture on the front. So this one is probably going to go on the shelf over here right next to the, where's my stuff? Right next to the limited edition hardcover. One of these days, I'm going to do videos showing all the books that I got. People ask me for it, and I need to do it. But I'm going to go through the Joe Lansdale collection. It's going to take a while because there's a lot of books in the Joe Lansdale collection. But this one looks great. I wanted to put it on there to kind of make my assortment of Prisoner 489 complete. Let's take a look and see a little bit of what's inside Prisoner 489. There's a bunch of pictures in here. First of all, Black Labyrinth imprint. I'm looking to see if it has a number line or anything like that. I doubt it will. It is Prisoner 489 by Joe R. Lansdale, illustrated by Santiago Caruso. Santiago Caruso, good job, man. Joe R. Lansdale, as always, good job, man. But then you already knew that, didn't you? You don't need my praise and adulation. You got enough other people telling you it's good already. Joe Lansdale, one of my very favorite authors. There's I'll say that a lot about a lot of people. One of my very favorite authors, but I've got a bunch of Joe Lansdale books to prove it that he's one of my very favorite authors. Artwork looks a lot like the cover. The cover is colored, and that particular image is black and white. I'm just going to quickly go through here and show you some of the illustrations in this book. Very awesome, very good pictures. I love the cover. I wish there was a hardcover version of this book that had this cover on it. The limited edition that I got from Dark Regions Press is awesome. But it doesn't have this on the cover. Anyway, it looks good. You can't have everything, man. So at least I got a soft cover with a cool looking cover art. And I got the lettered edition, slipcase, signed and limited hardcover. Can I show pictures? I'll show you part of this picture. If I raise it any higher, I'm going to show you body parts that I don't know if you're supposed to show on YouTube or not. Here's some more pictures. I think I've missed a few. Oops, there's another one I can't show. All right, there's one more I can show. But I like this, man. I don't remember. I think I might have paid $8 or something for it, 8 or 10 bucks. A lot less than what they usually sell for on eBay. Everybody wants an arm and a leg for this book. And finally, I showed off that I got the 2 P's. I got PP. And sometimes PP helps me get what I want. Patience and persistence helps me get what I want at the price I want it at, in the condition I want it. Sometimes PP pays off. All right, the last thing I got is this one is from eBay. And I've got a collection of books from a guy named Craig Johnson. Ever hear of him? Yeah, okay. Craig Johnson. Have you ever heard of a TV show called Longmire? All right, I loved that TV show. When it came on, when it debuted on TV, I was lucky enough to catch the very first episode. Just lucky, caught the very first episode, and I was hooked. And I watched the show all the way to the end. But I had watched the show, the whole series, maybe 2 times or 3 times. And I was at Barnes & Noble, and I'm going down the shelf, and I see a book, and it has a sticker on it. It said, signed by the author, and it says Walt Longmire story, and it's called Land of Wolves. So, shoot, is that the same Longmire from the TV show? And I figure it out. Lo and behold, this TV series was originally based on a book and a series of books. So I went and I started with the very first one called Cold Dish, and I loved the book, and I started putting together the collection of signed first print Longmire books from Craig Johnson. This is one that I was missing. I believe this is the second book in the series, and naturally one that I didn't have. I've got a bunch of them, and one of these days I'll go through that assortment of Craig Johnson books and show them off. Almost all of mine are signed. The ones that aren't signed are going to be later in the series, and as I try to figure out how to make this puzzle box work without damaging my book, let's see what we got. All right, so I complain about people not packaging books right. I complained about this being an envelope, but they put it inside of a box, inside of an envelope, which, why are you waving a knife around? They put it inside of a box, inside of an envelope, which is not a bad way to ship books. So inside of a box, inside of an envelope, works for me. It just gives me a little bit of worries when I see the envelope until I realize there's a box inside. And this one here, Death Without Company, Craig Johnson, author of The Cold Dish. And like I said, I believe this is the second book in the series. I should have done my research, pal. Do your research, pal. Anyway, Death Without Company was one that I didn't have. I had no copies of this book. No hardcovers, no paperbacks, no nothing. This one was supposed to be signed. And sure enough it is. Signed by author Craig Johnson. Can you see that? Can you see it? It's signed. You saw it now. Let's see if this is a first print, first edition, because such things are important to me. I'm dumb like that. And sure enough it is. Cursory examination shows first print copy, so I'm pleased with a capital P. And I like this book. No remainder dots or anything like that. Sometimes you end up getting caught buying books on the secondary market where they'll say first edition, first print, signed by the author, great condition, all the stuff. And when you get it, you got a big black Sharpie mark or a Sharpie dot or something like that on the bottom or the top of the page ends of the book and ruins it. But this one is great. I'm pleased. Our seller hooked me up. I got what I wanted at a very good price. Another example of how PP pays off. Patience and persistence. I could have gotten this book a year ago, and I could have gotten it for a lot more money than I ended up paying for it. But if you just wait, you keep checking, you bide your time, you go back over and over and over again, and you find one that's at or below the price that you really like to pay for it, sometimes, and I say eventually, a lot of times, you're going to find it. You're going to find that deal, that steal, that sale of the century that a lot of other folks are going to say, doggone it. Every now and then, you get to be the one that makes everybody say, doggone it. Lucked out this time. Usually I'm the one saying, doggone it. Anyway, that's my story. That's the book haul. A lot of stuff going on. A very long video. If you're watching still now, what's wrong with you? Anyway, I truly appreciate it. I thank you very much. Feel like I don't deserve being on here talking to people because I'm just a Joe with a job and doing the thing and being a dad and junk like that. But anyway, thanks for your time. My youngest boy tells me to always say like and subscribe. So please do the kid a favor. Like and subscribe. And without anything else to say, without any further lies to tell, say la vie, baby. I'm not eating any receipts, by the way. So there you go.